to Creepy Things. I'm Robert Massetti, your host, along with my co-host, Boney Bob.
Hello, everybody. I'm Boney Bob, and you're not.
And that's Boney Bob, yeah. What do we do here at Creepy Things? Well, we talk about everything that's related to the horror genre. You know, we'll review movies, comic books, horror merchandise, whatever. As long as it's in the horror genre, we'll talk about it. That's what we are. That's what we do here at Creepy Things. Talk about horror.
Oh, Boney.
And let me know in the comments, should we keep Boney Bob or not? Because he's a pain in my ass. He really is. But still like the guy. He's pretty cool. So this week, we are talking about horror comics. Who's interested in horror comics? I am. Are you? What do you think, Bob? Horror comics? What do you think?
What do I think? I'm trying to read this book. It's pretty good.
Anyway. So we're talking about ECcomics. Anybody familiar with ECcomics? And now ECcomics is from the 50s, so it's probably maybe not a lot of people that know about ECcomics. Because it's from the 50s. 1950. That's a long time ago. Almost 100 years. Now, when ECcomics came out, they came out with a little book called Tales from the Crypt, which was turned into a TV series also on HBO later on, not in the 50s. Later on. It was a really cool TV series. But this is from the 50s. This is when these books came out. This is back when, like late 40s, early 50s. And these horror comics were coming out, and they were just selling a ton of them. I mean, they were selling a lot. Why? Because it had, really cool artwork for one, but the stories were really good, and it had a lot of, scary stuff in it, like graphic stuff, kind of risque, scantily clad women. So the kids back then were like, oh, wow, hey, Tales from the Crypt, woo! Gotta get that. Something that's forbidden. Yeah. And that's all the horror comics were selling, not just EC's one. They had a whole bunch. It spawned. It really made horror what it is. And those comic books inspired today's filmmakers to make the great movies that they're making now today. So now, go ahead, almost, 90 years later? Boop. Epitaphs from the Abyss. This is not ECcomics. It says it is. It says it's ECcomics. But it's printed by another publisher. But this is a modern take. Kind of I don't know. It's all nostalgia, really. Kind of like the TV series, Tales from the Crypt. But this is their take. They're trying to, bring back the horror that EC did. Will they be able to? No. Nobody will. No. These aren't forbidden comics anymore. They get away with all kinds of stuff. They look at The Walking Dead, what they get away with on TV. You think they can shock anybody anymore? No. They can't shock anyone. So you think this comic book's going to do that? No. 50s was a different time. It was a changing time. But I like it personally only because of the nostalgia. To actually see the EC comic logo. I'm a big fan of Tales from the Crypt. But I just like the fun of it. Is it a great comic? No. Is it a bad comic? No. It's got different stories in there. There might be some stories that you really like. There might be some stories you hate. But I'll tell you, I like it. I would read it. I am reading it. That was the first issue that I showed you. This is the second issue, and this is the third. Like any comic book, it's going to take some time to get going. And, maybe they'll catch their footing and maybe they'll come up with a classic. Who knows? All I can say is give it a try. You might like it. What do you think, Bob? What's great about this show is that you're getting not only my opinion, you're getting Boney Bob's opinion. Not that it means anything.
Boney Bob approves of this comic book. I really like it. Yes, I would buy it. Yeah, read it. It's good.
He likes it too. That's two. All we're saying, give it a try. If you don't like it, then, say levy. Don't buy anymore. They not only have that horror comic, Epitaphs from the Abyss, they also have Cruel Universe for you sci-fi fans, kind of like sci-fi horror type stuff. Again, it's not the old ECcomics. No, but the artwork's pretty cool. Epitaphs from the Abyss. Check it out. You might like it. Don't just, judge it on one issue. Give it a couple of issues, and then if you don't like it, hey, give it up. But I'm going to keep subscribing. I'm going to keep buying them. I like it.
HorrorComics, they're Boney. And so is Robert.
If you really want to know about ECcomics, get these ECcomic archives that are coming out now from Dark Horse. These are incredible. Not only are they doing Tales from the Crypt, but they're doing Vault of Horror, and they're doing Haunt of Fear. Wow. Printing is incredible. These books are very well. They have a paperback version and they have a hardcover version. They're very expensive, but the paperbacks aren't that expensive. You can find these on Amazon for maybe between $10 and $15. They retail for $20, but get them on Amazon. I'm telling you. But they're coming out with all these different ECcomic archives, not only from those three titles, but a whole bunch of other titles like Weird Science and everything that they printed back in the 50s. It's just incredible. I have really enjoyed these. Now, these books will come with 6 different, like in the back here. It's funny because back then they started with Crypt of Terror, and then it went into Tales from the Crypt. They changed it because they, instead of starting over, they just continued it because they would have got charged like $3,000 to change the mailing. I don't know, that was the way it was back then in the U.S. mailing. So they just changed the cover and said, hey, we're just changing the name. Deal with it. Anyway, so yeah, this is the first issue, or I should say volume 1 of Tales from the Crypt. And it takes you from the beginning of Tales from the Crypt when it was Crypt of Terror and all the way to Tales of the Crypt, and to the first actual one where you're familiar with that logo. So very cool. Check it out. You will not be disappointed. If you're a horror fan, those are classics. On that note, that's the end of Creepy Things. I hope you will subscribe. Please subscribe, like all our stuff. Comment below. Let us know what you want us to review, and we'll see if we can. Boney Bob's a little bit harder to convince, but I can convince him maybe sometimes.
I am the demon of hellfire. Don't piss me off.
Hope you enjoyed it. Creepy Things. We'll be back, and thank you for watching. Subscribe. See you later. Creepy Things forever.